Hey guys, what's up? My name is T-Space, and welcome back to another episode of Off the Tee, where you, the viewers, ask me a question relative to Battlefield 3 or off the topic of Battlefield 3, whether that be a personal question or another game. So I haven't done one of these in actually, I think about 2 months or so it's been a while, so I do apologize, but you guys haven't asked any questions that recently, so that's, completely up to you guys. But anyhow, getting right into this episode, I'm going to be starting off with the first question. The first question comes from Toast Ghost, and he asks, "Give me a kiss." I'm sorry, no, I physically can't over the internet because I would be kissing my mic. And that would be really weird. So sorry, no, I don't think I would be able to do that. All right, moving on to the next question. Next question comes from Lol Dryon. Lol Dryron? Dyron? I think it's Dyron. Lol Dyron, and he asks, when I'm sniping, I have problems hitting people that are running. Can you give me some tips? I play with the 8x scope. So I'm going to make a video about this in the back to school sniping series, talking about how to do different shots in general, and overall I talk about how to aim at moving targets. So not to spoil the entire episode, I'll just give you a brief hint on what you should do to practice before this episode actually gets on my channel. What I see a lot of people do is when a target is running, they kind of follow them with their scope. They're scoped in, and they're pretty much moving their scope with this or at the same speed as the target is running. That's something that you don't want to do, because that's just a factor a factor that you add into the equation that just doesn't need to be there. You don't really need to follow the target like that, because it's just an extra thing that you have to do, and it's too much. It's pointless to do it. So if I were you, I would kind of just make it so he runs into your crosshair instead of you running after him with your crosshair. Hopefully that makes sense. But I'll go more in depth with this with the back to school sniping episode when I am finished with all 5 of them and all like that. And yeah, so hopefully you guys are looking forward to that. But moving on to the next question. Next question comes from XSilo99 or 993, and he says, "Hey T-Space, just one simple question. Where did you learn to play sniper so well? CS, CS, Quake, some previous Battlefield game, or something completely different?" To tell you the truth, I actually started playing, I think my first FPS is a game called Soldier Front, and this was back when I was, I think I was either 10 or 11, and at the time, of course, I didn't have a job, so I had no money to buy any of those AAA games at the time. I couldn't buy Counter-Strike or whatnot, and overall, free-to-plays were, the way to go for me, and it was just something that I wouldn't have to be bothered with if I had to ask my parents, like, "Oh, can I get this game?" because it's free. I mean, come on. So anyhow, I played this game called Soldier Front. It was produced by a company called EG or IJJI, and overall it was the greatest game at the time for me. I loved it. I loved the mechanics. I never played an FPS before. My friends actually just talked me into it, and I instantly fell in love with it. And within that game, I started playing the sniper class, and I slowly progressed my way up in rankings and whatnot. Well, not world rankings, just like physical rankings, like, oh, I'm rank 37 now and I can buy this gun now or something like that. You know what I mean? But basically that's where I started off, and I continued on with the free-to-play titles. I went from Soldier Front to Combat Arms, and then I went to what was the game called? A couple other free-to-play games, and then another big free-to-play game was AVA, or Alliance of Valiant Arms, or AVA. I mean, or AVE. It is Ava. Okay, so anyhow, I started off with free-to-play games, and then I progressed into the actual buy-to-play games. I started off with Team Fortress 2. I actually got Modern Warfare 2. I got Counter-Strike Source. I got Counter-Strike Go now. I started playing Battlefield Bad Company 2, and then Battlefield 3, and that's pretty much where I kind of progressed my level of sniping. Now, when it came down to it, teaching myself was kind of the easy part. Learning from other people was a little harder, because overall I didn't like the style that people portrayed how to become a better sniper at the time. I mean, they told you specifics on what you could and could not do, and that's something I didn't like. That's what I kind of want to base my series around. I want to base my series around stuff that is suggested, and it's not like you have to do this in order to be good, because I didn't like to feel constricted. Like within these commentaries about how to improve your snipers, they said you have to do this, you have to do that, and you have to do this, and that's something I didn't like. I'm like, I don't want to have to do anything. I want to just know how to improve myself. So hopefully my series Back to School Sniping is addressing that to the point where I'm not telling you exactly what you have to do. It's just something that could possibly help you. That's kind of my approach to it. So basically, in other words, I'm not trying to limit you on what you can and cannot do. I'm not going to tell you that you shouldn't use the G18 because it's a noob weapon. I mean, that's just stupid. I mean, if you like to play with the G18, that's completely fine. I mean, I have my personal opinions on it, and you have your personal opinions on it. I personally don't like it. I feel like it's a newbie gun. But if you like it, that's completely fine. You know, I'm joking. Okay, I'm just poking fun. But anyhow, that's how I like to base my series around. And hopefully, I'm doing a good enough job on that, so you guys don't feel restricted on what you can and cannot do. But overall, when it came down to learning and making myself better, I pretty much taught myself in a way that if I saw a commentary that had really good sniper gameplay in the background, I would kind of subconsciously listen to the commentary, but I'd be more focused on how he's actually playing. Like if he was in a sticky situation within that video, I would try to put myself into his shoes, and I would try to think of what he was actually thinking of when he was in that situation. Like, oh, what he would do, what would be the outcome, what are my options, and I would just kind of quiz myself willingly in a way when I watch these videos. And overall, after watching these videos, I kind of taught myself how to teach myself. I don't know if that makes sense, but hopefully that does. So overall, that's how I improved my improved my sniping game, and I'd say I'm pretty good right now, but I'm not the best. I know there are many people out there that are way better than me. So yeah, that's pretty much. Hopefully I answered your question. All right, let's move on to the next question. The next question comes from this guy called Appletini. I'm just kidding, Apple. I love you. Anyhow, Appletini asks, what do you think DICE can do to balance classes more for Battlefield 4? I'm not talking about weapon balance, more specifically the classes and their gadgets. So overall, I'd have to say I would love to go back to the Bad Company 2 era. The reason why is because I felt that the medic and support classes were more intertwined. In Battlefield Bad Company 2, the most powerful weapons, or I wouldn't say arguably, it seemed like they were the assault rifles. So the assault rifles in Bad Company 2 were the predominant weapons in the game. But given that they were the most powerful guns in the game, they weren't given the most powerful gadget, which was, of course, the health pack. Instead of the health pack, they got the ammo pack, which, made sense to me. I'm like, okay, so if they are good, they could survive for forever technically, because they can, of course, just wait for the health to regen after whenever that takes place, and they have unlimited ammo. But they can't just instantly regenerate with a health pack. That was given to the LMGs. The LMGs were, I would say, they weren't a bad. They didn't have the worst weapons. I mean, Battlefield 3 or Bad Company 2 didn't really have a worse kind of weapons. I guess if you wanted to pick a worse kind of weapon, it would probably be the carbines. That, I don't know, it seemed like the carbines were just a little too weak. But overall, the LMGs had the health packs, so they had a decent weapon, but they didn't have unlimited ammo with it. I mean, they had the biggest clips in the game, of course, because they were LMGs, but they didn't have unlimited ammo to back it up. And to compensate for this loss of not having unlimited ammo, they were given the health packs, and the health packs kind of balanced it out. Like, oh well, I can stay alive and res people, but I don't have unlimited ammo. So of course, they worked together, and overall, people got what they wanted. Unlike Battlefield 3 nowadays, the assault rifles have the medic pack, so they can shoot people and they will probably never die. I mean, I don't know, it just feels kind of lame. You might be saying, well, they don't have unlimited ammo, but you don't really need unlimited ammo to kill like 50 guys. You just don't need that. I mean, you'll have enough ammo as it is, killing that many guys with just the health pack as your gadget. So I feel that if Battlefield 4 wants to go into the right direction, in my opinion, they should flip-flop those two classes, the support and the medic class, and have the assaulters have the ammo and the supports have the medic. I don't know, I feel that that's a lot more balanced, and overall it'll probably make the game more diverse. Because also on top of that, you see a lot of people playing medics, and given that they are playing medics with the most powerful guns, it gets a little crazy. I mean, I'm pretty sure you guys have complained about people always using the M16 all the time. Like, diversify it up, son. But I mean, of course they don't want to, because it's the best class because they have health, and they have the best weapons because they're assault rifles. I mean, that's just one and done pretty much. Now, going on to the whole engineer and sniper class. I feel that the engineers are pretty balanced in their own way. They have a specific role that they can do, and they do it well. Their guns in Battlefield 3 at least were pretty. I mean, I feel like they're good. They're not too weak. They're not, you know, useless in any means. I mean, I feel like they're really powerful, especially the KH. If you are not the KH, the Scar H. If you haven't tried the Scar H on the NG class, oh my god, you need to try it like right now. Like, stop this video and try it. Like, that gun head glitches like nobody's business. Meaning, if someone's head glitching you, you can actually kill them like with relative ease, because the gun does, like, I don't know, 30 damage. Like, what? Like, this just, it just blows my mind how powerful it is. But anyhow, I feel like the engineer class is, you know, it's good where it's at. Now, the sniper class in Battlefield 3 is kind of, it's kind of shit. I mean, there's no other way of putting it. It sucks. You can't really do anything with it. You are kind of the class that everyone looks down upon. They're like, oh, you're sniping. Well, awesome. I mean, probably the best gadget that they have is the spawning beacon, and even at that kind of sucks sometimes, because if you're playing on a map where there are jets or whatever, that skybox, and you place your spawning beacon outside, you'll be parachuting for, like, I don't know, maybe 10 seconds or so, maybe more. I don't even know, but you'd be parachuting, and sometimes I don't like that. I just want to be spawned in and done. So when I put down a spawning beacon, I make sure it's always under something, so people don't have to wait to just float down. So that's my opinion, but I feel that the sniper needs something. There are so many situations where I feel that I don't want to play vehicle maps because the snipers can't do anything. They literally cannot. I mean, yes, they have a SOFLAM, but that's not something that's interesting. It doesn't make you want to use the SOFLAM. It's kind of like, okay, well, let me just cut myself in the arm, and, you know, so you guys can win. I mean, there's no benefit to you. I mean, you barely get any points as it is. I mean, you get, like, what, 80 points in total or something like that if something gets destroyed. And on top of that, it's not automated. You have to move it yourself. You can't, like, just say, okay, well, I'm going to place down here and hope to God that it just, you know, targets everything. I mean, it does target everything within the range that it is. So if you place it in a specific spot, you'll get that area, but you're not going to get the entire map. I wish that it would kind of move by itself, or have a missile come from the sky and hit your target. And then, you know, there'd be like a huge cooldown on that missile, so it wouldn't be, you know, overused. But I mean, that'd be awesome. I mean, it'd be like a portable AT rocket. Like, I loved the AT rocket back in Bad Company 2, and I felt that the NGs should have gotten that. None of this lock-on bullshit. I mean, the AT missile was amazing, and it would feel so satisfying when you actually got a kill with it, whether that be on a person or it would be on a chopper that was, like, you know, 1,000 miles away from you. I mean, that's, you know, exaggerating, but still, I mean, it was awesome, and that's what I thought the SOFLAM would be for the sniper class. But of course, I was mistaken. I was completely wrong, and I had my hopes and dreams crushed. So hopefully in Battlefield 4, they give the sniper something. I mean, the sniper is like this infiltrator class, right? So overall, he should be able to, you know, work his way through the lines and get behind enemy, you know, positions and whatnot, and have something to do. You know, like, okay, he gets behind enemy lines and he goes, okay, now what? I have my teammates spawn on me, and then they do the work. Like, that's not fun. I don't get to kill anything. I don't get to blow shit up. Like, where's the fun in me? I mean, yeah, okay, I help my team, but it's like super support. I mean, a lot of people don't like super supporting players. I mean, or they don't like to play the super supporting players because it's boring. I mean, it's not fun. I mean, I guarantee you 9 times out of 10, if you ask someone whether or not they would like to have a bazooka or shit, a Band-Aid clinic, they would probably go for the bazooka, because Band-Aids feel like, I don't know, whoop, yeah, okay, you heal wounds, you supported me, good job, but rockets and bazookas are like, blam, cow, and then they, you know, they blow up. I mean, who would not want that? I would want that. I would want the bazooka over the Band-Aids. But okay, anyhow, that's going completely off topic. But overall, I feel that's how it would be, in my opinion. Hopefully, Battlefield 4 would be going in a step in the right direction, and overall, it would, you know, work out. All right, let's move on to the next question. The next question comes from Voodoo, and he says, oh god, this one's actually the paragraph long one. I think, just to sum it up, because this is a very long question, I think he's stating that if you play with the sniper class with a bolt action sniper rifle, it'll improve your other games, or your other classes, just in accuracy wise. Because he said that he was primarily a an assault player, and overall he felt that he was pretty confident with his shot. But after playing with the sniper class, specifically, he went back to the assault class recently, and he said, "Wow, my aim is extremely better." That made no sense. It just increased. Like his aim increased apparently significantly to the point where he saw a noticeable difference. And he's asking me if I feel the same way. And I personally say that that's the case. I feel that if you play the sniper class with a bolt action sniper rifle, it will increase your aim across all the other classes. Because given that you are focused on one specific shot going in that one specific area, which is either the 1.25 hitbox, which I don't recommend because I don't like it. I wish they never added it, but anyhow, or of course the headshot. So given that you're focused on a smaller target and you're kind of trying to get the most accuracy as possible, it kind of translates to the other classes. I mean, whether you know it or not, you'll probably increase your accuracy, at least a little bit after playing the sniper class, because you have a one shot to get that most accurate kill, and if you miss it, then well, that sucks. I mean, you have to practice a little more, and then when you start consistently getting that accurate shot, and you move it over to an assault rifle, you're like, wow, I have multiple shots to get accurate. So damn, like that's amazing. So overall, yeah, I would have to say that if you play the sniper class a lot and you switch over to another class, your accuracy will probably be a lot greater. But of course, that's personal preference in a way. I mean, I feel that that's the case, but if you don't, then that's completely fine. All right, let's move on to the last question of the day, and today's last question comes from Amplify, and he asks, so you recently said there are major problems with Battlefield 3. Could you talk more about these and how they affect you, and how they might improve Battlefield 4? So overall, I'd have to say that there are a lot of things in Battlefield 3 that I don't like. I played this game for a while. I played this for, I think I said it in my last video, about 800 hours, which is a long time. And I just start to notice all these little minor things. Of course, the netcode is something that a lot of people get mad about, like, getting shot around corners or whatnot. I don't really look at the big things. I mean, of course, suppression, I hate. I don't like it. It's stupid. I'll get into that later. But let me start off with the problems that you might necessarily not see the way I see it. So first off, I feel that every FPS needs to have smooth movement. If the game doesn't have smooth movement, then the game sucks. I'm sorry to say it sucks, because that's probably that's pretty much half the game in a sense. I vision the game as movement and aiming for FPS shooters. If you don't have movement, then you're stationary, and that sucks. If you don't have aim, well, then you're kind of just running around, right? I mean, that's how I think. So I don't feel that Battlefield 3 has the best movement. I feel that Battlefield 3 has poor movement. I wish it was better. The reason why is because there are these little tiny things in the game that prevent you from moving over them. Like, I would imagine if it was a step or something like that, maybe like 3 inches, you would be able to walk over that, right? No, in Battlefield 3, that's not the case. You have to jump over that 3-inch step, like you're some Olympian doing something for the Olympics or something like that, right? Like you're vaulting over this tiny little box. It makes no sense. Oh, boxes. Okay, so I play Karkand a lot, right? And there's these fucking boxes everywhere. I don't know why they're there, but they're boxes, and they're super glued together to the point where they're solid objects, and they weigh like 50 billion tons. So when you run into that, you can't run over it. You can't push the boxes out of the way like in real life. I use air quotes around the real life. Okay, anyhow. So you can't move past them. In order to proceed through this obstacle, you have to either shoot the boxes so they blow up, or you have to jump over them. I mean, that's just stupid. I don't understand it. And of course, in Karkand, there are these specific alleyways that lead into these kind of inner rooms with a bunch of glass panes on it, and they put boxes in that tiny corridor. Why? Why the hell would you put a tiny box that you can't break unless you shoot it in a tiny corridor where people are, probably rushing around trying to get away from something? I mean, it's so stupid. Moving on to something else. When buildings get destroyed, or rocks in general, the hitboxes around these objects aren't clear. Like, you can physically see over them, or you can physically see in between them, but you can't shoot through them because the hitboxes aren't aren't properly made. Like, I'm pretty sure there's a couple times where you guys have experienced this, where you try to, poke out just a little bit to the point where you can barely see the target and, try to shoot over the cover that you're hiding behind. But what happens? You don't hit him because you're actually hitting the cover, because the hitbox of the cover exceeds from where the image actually stops. And that's just so frustrating, because like sometimes a sniper is in a spot where I want to shoot him, but I can't because the hitbox of the rock that he's next to is blocking my shot. And I'm like, what the hell? Or I'm trying to, shoot over an obstacle or an object, and I can't shoot over it because I'm hitting the actual object. And of course I move up to, get over this hitbox, and then I'm too exposed, and then I die. I mean, it's dumb. It's simple stuff like this that they should, have fixed. This shouldn't happen in the game. I mean, that just makes me mad. What else makes me mad? God, I can go on and on about this. Oh, okay. Collision. Collision is so stupid. Collision with teammates is retarded. It is so dumb. Like, when you're running and you physically know that you could run faster than this guy, given that you have like the sprint perk, but he's right next to you, you like kind of rubber band with each other. You're like best buddies when you're running next to each other, and you can't pass him because you're colliding with him with his physical character thing. And overall, that pisses me off. I mean, when someone's in a doorway and they think it's the best cover in the world, they just don't move, and you know that there are people behind you and they're going to kill you, and you're trying to run through this doorway, but of course he's just standing there like a dumbass, and you can't get past him, so you die, and then he dies, and he's like, whoa, dude, why didn't you walk to my back? I'm like, I had no ammo, I was suppressed, I was about to die, and you just you just move out of the way, please. I mean, I wish Battlefield 4, hopefully Battlefield 4 has no team collision, because that would solve a lot of things. Oh my god, it would just be amazing. It would be awesome. It would be like, hey, look, you're in a doorway, I don't care, I can walk right through you. It's just one and done. It'd be great. But I can go on and on about this, but this commentary is probably getting a little too long as it is. Oh my god, it's actually 20 minutes. So if you actually survived this 20-minute commentary, props to you. I mean, damn, props to you. But anyhow, that pretty much wraps up this episode of Off the Tee. Now, if you have any other questions that you would like to send me, please send me a private message titled Off the Tee, so it makes it a lot easier for me to actually see these questions, and I will answer them for the next episode. The next episode might be next week, or it might be a month from now. I don't know. It depends on how many questions that I get. So if you want the series to continue or have a faster pace, please ask me questions. Now, of course, the questions don't, have to be super serious. They could be, super silly. I mean, I talked about, I think for 10 minutes about why I like toast over brownies, and, it was pretty funny. But overall, I mean, it could be any question that you like. But anyhow, I hope you guys enjoyed the commentary. Hopefully enjoyed the gameplay as well. It was a Striker Karkin gameplay where I was using the AK-74. And, yeah, that's pretty much it. So once again, my name is T-Space, and I will catch you guys later.
Don't do that.